It happened last week. I wrote the post. It didn't feel good. Didn't feel right. Something was off and I couldn't quite tell what it was. The old me would have posted it anyway. Would have just said, hey, you're not going for perfection. Just come on, just keep doing it, flexing that muscle. But the new me doesn't do that because that advice is garbage, if you ask me. And maybe it's okay advice for someone who's really struggling to get started, but I can give you better advice than that. That the more you do that, I'm not going for perfection, so I'm going to post it even though I don't like it. Because if I just keep moving, eventually I'll get there. I'm telling you right now, that is a slow, dragging path. And most of the time, what you end up doing is you normalize feeling bleh about everything that you do. And I don't know about you. I want to be excited about what I do because I am excited about what I do. And I want that to flow into everything that I do. And if you post it just for the sake of posting it, that's the energy that you're sending out. I don't really like this, but I guess, I was told I'm too perfection oriented. So I just need to do it. Well, you're just sending out, I don't like it. I only do what I'm told. And I feel like I have to and that I should. And now I'm beating myself up because I feel like I'm not perfect and I'm trying to be perfect. And it's just a whole bunch of yuck. I don't believe in that. And so this happened to me. It happens almost every week, I got to say. I can write posts really quickly. My writing has changed so much over the past couple of years. I believe so much more in myself. I've been on this journey. But I made a lot of mistakes along the way, or let's just say I took the long route, and that was one of them. Thinking, am I a perfectionist? I don't really ever identify with that, but I hear it a lot, and I've been told that, so maybe I am, that pushing through. And it took me a long way. And when I started shifting, and I started looking at how do I create that alignment? And, sometimes it's not a technical thing. So that's what this is going to be about. I'm going to tell you a little story here. I posted this on LinkedIn, and I'm gonna read it to you, and I think it'll help you to see my way of thinking about this. I spent 20 minutes of just staring at it. Something was off, but I couldn't see it. So I asked for help. She couldn't see it either. From a life drawing class came a life lesson, and I still carry this today. I'm trained, I've studied, I've practiced. 2 degrees, countless hours drawing from life. But this day, I couldn't figure it out. I rechecked, I reworked, I tinkered. I asked the studio guide for help. She thought she knew. I so vividly have this memory of this event. And she's like, oh, I can totally help you. And she looked at it. She did all the same technical checks that I did. And we both stood there, perplexed. Couldn't quite figure it out. And then, it was a class, a studio class. So she had a bunch of other people to go and help. And so, we stood there for a little bit together. I felt validated. I felt seen. So that was nice. But then she had to go on and to help other people. And I totally get it, because also it's like, well, you're not helping me. So you don't have to stand here, right? I can look at it perplexed on my own. But really what I was really processing on inside was I felt the drop in my gut. And I was in my 30s trying to rekindle my love of art. And instead, I felt disconnected. The proportions were spot on, the details complete, but it felt off. When I think of the other sketches I've made, proportions wacky, technically wrong. Oh, I have a lot of those, because that's what happens. As the more that you study and the more that you draw and you look at things from a different perspective, you get some that are like totally like, oh, that's weird. And I also love practicing that technique where you do the blind contour drawing, where you look at your subject matter, but you don't look at where you're drawing. And you just draw it and you come up with some really weird things, but it's a fabulous technique for studying your subject. You get a feel for it versus looking at it technically. So, and the thing is, these other sketches, which I have a lot of them, they feel on. At least to me, they felt on. And I know from other people looking at them, they connected with it. So they felt on. If that is the opposite of offness. So what was it? It's energy. It's the only logical explanation. It's your energy is off if it doesn't resonate. When I first started posting on LinkedIn, it felt the same. Off. But not in a way I could explain. Sure, some of it was confidence. We all have that when we're doing something new. But not all of it. Even now, with a grounded voice, deep in trust, and clarity in my writing, I sometimes feel it again. It happened last week. This is May in 2025. And the week before that I wrote this post for LinkedIn, it happened. It happens every week. I could put this in here. It happens every week. Because we're not in alignment 100% of the time. That's why it's important to understand how you recognize your own, I've stepped out of my alignment. And then how do I step back into it? Because this isn't just like when people say, I live in my alignment, they're not talking about 24/7, 100% of the time. They're talking about I spend a lot of time in alignment. And the reason why is because when I'm out of alignment, so it doesn't mean you don't take risk or try something and it goes, off. Or sometimes you just find yourself there and you're consciously not even aware of it until you are, and you recognize it. I'm out of alignment. And then you know how to get yourself into alignment. And that's what living in alignment is. I used to talk about being unstuckable because that's how I feel creatively. I am totally unstuckable. Like I can have ideas forever on a moment's notice. I've trained myself that way. I just know how to do it. And they're like, how do you I have to step away. Sometimes I got to take a week off. Like, how do you do that? And I was like, being unstuckable doesn't mean you don't get stuck. It just means you know how to get unstuck. And I can do it in minutes rather than hours, days, weeks, months, like I used to, because I've worked on that. And that's what living in alignment is. So it happened last week. I was out of rhythm, playing another's tune. Normally that's what it is. I'm trying to do something somebody else's way, not my way. Even if I learn something from them, I still want to figure it out and integrate it into my way. And every time it creates offness. No hook, format, or strategy can fix it because it's not something you see, it's something you feel. That's what Before Your Post is about, which is my course that I have as kind of like an entry into what this all means. And it is all about writing a LinkedIn post. It could be for anything, actually. And actually in the program, you only write one post, but it's all the stuff you do before you write that post. That is the gold. And that is what the course is about. So it's not another writing course. It's a recalibration space for your energy, for your rhythm, for your resonance. So when you post, it feels on. And if you write that post and it feels off, you know exactly what to do so you can get to where it feels on in your alignment. If your writing is technically fine but energetically off, you're not alone. And you're not doing it wrong. You're just not doing it your way yet. That's the part I help you find. It's $47. It's 5 days, gentle support for me. So it's actually a week of support. So while you're taking the course, you get complete access to me that, to help you out on things. I want you to I want you to turn in homework so we can have conversations about it. That's a key element to integrating. Taking a course with actually no help and doing it on your own, I like doing those too. But when you have that space to engage and get not just, hey, good job, a thumbs up, like 'cause there's some courses where you have that. I'm going to actually engage with you. It helps you to integrate it. So I put in here, it'll be not necessarily in the comments. I'll put it in the description, the link to it. And I have this little PS on the bottom here that I'd like to read to you. So last week I felt it too, but here's the thing. It didn't derail me because I could feel the shift and I knew how to return to oneness. That's what Before You Post offers. Not better writing, better resonance. So if you're interested, I'm going to put that link right here in the description.